Well, Rick Beato, DJ Payne, Weaver Beats, and many others were right about AI music. Greetings, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. It is your boy Perry Walker, aka Don Walk, and yeah, I was wrong about AI music and its questionable quality. Now, I still believe that there's a use for Suno and Udio and other AI music creation tools, but as for me, I am going to be using them in very basic ways. Now, before I get into that and I talk about how I came to my conclusion and do an audio comparison between an original work I did several years ago and compare it to when I uploaded it into Suno, I want to watch this short video clip of Rick Beato and this other young fella discussing this very issue.
And there's a thing that's happening where people's ear very quickly is becoming attuned to AI slop. Like, for example, there's this viral clip going around of an AI based, like a soul jazz remix of songs like 50 Cent, Many Men. And I think it is super impressive. It's very cool at first, but when you listen to it for a while, you understand that this is AI slop.
So you saw that, you heard that, and let me tell you, I was one of those guys that was leaving an argumentative comment inside of Rick Beato's. Yeah, it's Rick Beato. Sorry, I've been mispronouncing his name. And DJ Payne and Weaver Beats and other people that were against AI because, there's a honeymoon phase with AI music, okay? So when you start creating it and it generates pretty impressive compositions that if you don't really critically listen, they sound very impressive. Now, like I said, I have this song that I created with a reverend friend of mine, my wife. We hired some musicians from Fiverr, and I did a mix and a master over it. Now, it's not a Grammy Award winning mix, but I think it's a decent sounding mix and master. But I listened to it, and then I listened to the version that I uploaded into Suno and came to a conclusion. And I'm going to play it and I'm going to see if you can come to the same conclusion. Now, I'm going to toggle in between each one of these tracks. Now, they're not 100% sync. They are different, but they do follow a similar composition. And I may skip around for you to hear that. But I'm going to start off with my original first. Here we go. Let me put my headphones on.
I got a friend. I call him Jesus Christ. And listen, my Savior, He is. I call Him Jesus Christ. Now let me tell you that He's closer than my mother. I want to tell you that He's close and closer than my brother. I tell you there's no other like my friend. He's calling you.
Okay, so you heard that mix. That was the Reverend singing on it, my wife singing on it, a bass player. I programmed the drums, and we had a guitar player from Fiverr. And I thought it sounded decent, pretty good. It had a good feel to it. Now, listen to the one from Suno. You're going to be impressed by how clean it is, but really listen to it.
I got a friend. I got a friend. I call him Jesus Christ. Oh, and listen, my Savior. I call him Jesus Christ. Now let me tell you that he's close. He's closer than my mother.
Initially, when you hear that, you're saying, man, that sounds better. It has a better groove, but it's a different direction. Definitely a more neo soul sound. But you really start to hear the difference during the climatic vocals. And that's something that Rick Beato and some of the other critics of AI music talked about. Because I was so wrapped up with how or AI music can create something just excellent, especially out of something that you created yourself. I didn't take time to do a proper comparison between my human-made works and theirs. Now let me go to a more climatic part.
Like my friend, like my Jesus, the center of my life, and he's calling you, let him in.
Okay, even with the imperfections in my wife's voice, because sometimes she goes off a little on key, but it kind of has a certain feel to it. The Reverend singing in the song is not what you would consider a great singer, but like how Rod Stewart is, he didn't have a great voice, but his voice just fit with the song. I think that the Reverend's vocals bring a certain authenticity that the Suno version don't bring. And plus the backing vocals of a young man named Jonathan at my church. He was doing the close. I can't sing, so don't get me to do that. But he was putting that in. And to me, the climatic transition sounded more real and had more feeling, even though it may not have the perfection in the vocal tone and the musicianship. It has a more of an authenticity, at least to me. Let me know what you think. But let me see if I can find a climatic part from this song. Here, let me see. When you listen close to those vocals, it sounds very auto-tuned. And I'm not trying to be a parrot, but there's, I don't know how to describe it, but it's like the AI is trying to keep it as perfect without any type of flaws, to the point to where it takes the life out of it, even though she's hitting climatic parts. And let me move to an end part. Let me go here and play part of it.
Jesus Christ, oh, what a friend. Let him in. Oh, I tell you, he's closer than your mother. I wanna tell you, he's close.
See, it almost sounds like the vocals are saturated, or it has a little fog over it, like a scratchiness. In some instances, that could sound kind of cool, like a lo-fi thing, but to some people, comparing it to something made by a human, for instance, this, let me see.
I wanna tell you, he's closer than your own brother. Oh, I tell you, there's no other like my friend.
And listen to the climactic end. And that's what I mean by the emotion.
He's my friend. Oh, my Jesus.
My Jesus, he stick with you till the end. I say, Jesus is calling you. Won't you let him in? Let him in.
Won't you let him in? Let him
My
in.
Savior, oh, what a friend.
My Savior. Oh, what a friend.
Jesus,
Yeah.
my Savior,
Jesus.
he's my friend. He's my friend.
He's my friend. Oh,
Jesus,
yeah.
my Savior.
Jesus, he's my Savior. Till the end.
To the
Till the
end.
end.
Jesus,
Oh.
my Savior.
And to me, I mean, some people may hear that my song and say, "Ooh," but to me, if I think of a soul song, what I did with the musicians and then with the Reverend before Suno sounds a lot more soulful. Can it be better? Can better musicianship be employed? Could better singing and delivery be deployed? Yes, it could. But compared to this,
Till the end. I say, Jesus is calling you, won't you? Let him in. Let him in. Let him in. Won't you let him in? Let him in. Oh, what a friend. My Savior. Jesus. Jesus. He's my friend. Jesus, my friend. Oh.
and you can basically hear that auto tune or whatever it's using to keep the voice on tune really pushing right there. Now, I don't think that what Suno did was bad. I could look at it in one or two ways. It's a great idea for a different direction to where I can go back to Fiverr and hire the musicians that can reproduce the music and have my wife give a similar delivery but without all of the weird stuff going on, or we could re-record the original. But anyhow, I just wanted to show you and explain why now when I'm using AI tools, they're going to be in a very limited way, and that why I agree with those guys when it comes to AI music. And I would say to a lot of you who are still using Suno, 11 Labs, UDO, I'm not saying stop, but I'm saying consider how much of it you use in your creative works, because right now AI isn't ready for prime time. Overall, not paying attention, it could sound very impressive, but when you pick it apart and really take some time to listen, you realize that, okay, there are those weird flaws. Oh man, why did that snare drum change to a different tone? That's not what I meant. Why why did they say that word that way? That's not how it's supposed to be pronounced. Anyhow, I just want to say this, Mr. Beato, DJ Payne, Weaver Beats, and all you other guys, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for leaving those crazy comments. Actually, you guys had some pretty colorful words to say to me, but that's just water under a bridge now. But anyhow, I'm not going to stop using AI tools, just in a different way. But I understand its limits now and what I can use it for. But anyhow, let me know in the comments how you feel about this, your experience with AI. If you think that the original had more emotion or if the Suno version was better, let me know. And let's duke it out there in the comments. Until next time, I'll see you on the next one. Peace.